Have you got an SPI or an MPI Mini? Has it got one of these multi-function relays, and is the bracket broken? If it is, this may be the video for you. Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're all well. Now if you own an SPI or an MPI Mini, you're probably familiar to seeing one of these. It's the relay pack which goes on top of the servo bracket, and I can almost guarantee you it's probably got a broken clip on it. Or if your one hasn't now, it probably had a broken clip in the past and you've probably replaced it. Now I was sat searching through Facebook the other evening and I saw a guy selling a repair kit on there, and I thought, what a fantastic idea. I've never seen one of them before. So I thought I'd get one. I needed to repair the one on Sprout, and I thought I'd give a bit of a review of it at the same time. So just before we get into the video, I just want to point out this is not sponsored. I paid full price for the kit, and it was really, as I say, it solves a problem for me. Hopefully it will solve a problem for you too. So bear with me, let's get into it. So if you own an MPI or an SPI Mini, it will have one of these multifunction relays on there, and inside there is contained, I think there's 4 large relays there which control the fuel pump, the starter motor, I can't remember what else anyway. But what happens is it clips onto the top of the servo bracket here, and the clip breaks on the back because it's just made of plastic. Now this relay, depending whether it's MPI or SPI, they are about £125, so they're flipping expensive to replace. So what I saw on eBay was a kit to repair the clip on the back of that, which, like I say, what usually happens is you get cable tied on, but they don't get held on very well with cable ties, and they look unsightly when they're just loose under the bonnet. So let me turn the camera around, I'll show you what comes in the kit. So I've got this kit off a guy on Facebook called Dave McDermott, and I think I got the last kit he had, but he's going to put some more on eBay. They are going to be, I think, £9.99, or just double check anyway. As soon as he's got some more, as soon as there's availability on eBay, I'll stick a link in the description down the bottom. So Dave sent this out to me very promptly, so thank you very much, Dave. And in the kit you get some very comprehensive instructions which guide you through it step by step. It's pretty simple. The best things that work well are always simple. So there's 2 double-sided pages of instructions. We get some epoxy resin, so that's hardener and resin. I'm not sure whether it's fast epoxy or not. We'll find out in a moment. I think it is, because it says sets in 5 minutes there. Some epoxy resins can take hours. So we get some epoxy resin. We get a bit of wet and dry paper just for roughing up and keying the surface. And then in the bag here, this is the important bit. What we get is a replacement clip. So I don't know how well that will come out on the camera. That's really nicely made, actually. It's 3D printed by the looks of it, but it's been done nicely on a 3D printer. So in essence, basically all we're going to do is replace a broken clip that's on our relay pack with this clip here, and then araldite it on. But there is a bit of a process which I'll talk you through. So the first part is obviously we need to unplug our relay box from the car, and it's just the 2 multi-plugs here, and as you can see this is a broken bit on the back. So step 1, it says remove any of the remaining parts of the original clip. So we need to grind this original broken bit of clip away. I'm going to use a little mini die grinder to do this, but I guess you could use a file or something like that, angle grinder, but let me get on with that. Let's get this ground away. Die grinders are a fantastic tool for doing this, and we've just got a sort of square head on the top of the die grinder there. And don't forget eye protection. That die grinder made light work of that. A little bit more in the middle I just need to get rid of. Right, let's just get things tidied up. Makes a bit of a mess, that is. Right, so once we've ground that off, step 2 is ensure that the plastic is flush with the rest of the housing. So just run your finger over it. You don't want any high bits because that's going to stop the clip from sticking properly. Step 3 is align the new clip with the front of the relay pack outer case as shown in the photo. This will ensure the new clip is in the same location as the original. So you just got to make sure it's orientated correctly when you align the new clip on there. So we don't want to get it the wrong way round because that ain't going to work, is it? So there we go. We'll just get that aligned there. Step 4, use some masking tape or a felt pen to mark around the new clip. I'm going to use masking tape because this is actually going to help keep it nice and clean and make sure we don't make too much of a mess with the epoxy resin going on the back there. Although to be fair, this is on the bottom of the relay pack, so it's not like you're going to see glue sticking out the side. Next step, using the supplied wet and dry paper, we just want to key up the surface. Couldn't be simpler really. Very, very quick to key that up. We then need to use something to degrease it. So I'm going to use brake cleaner, but you can use acetone, nail varnish remover. So that is now nicely keyed up and degreased, and I'm actually going to go deviate slightly from the instructions. I'm going to mask it up again. Like I say, just because I know Araldite can be a little bit messy applying it, it's going to ooze out the side and make a bit of a mess. So I'm just going to mask it back up. There we go. Now we need to key the back of the 3D printed clip. It actually doesn't want too much because of the sort of texture the 3D printer leaves in it. It's a pretty good surface to glue onto anyway, and then again just degrease. So there are our parts ready to go. Step 7, we need to open the 2 tubes of glue, puncturing the seal, and then we need to dispense 2 even amounts. Wow, that's not easy to puncture, that tube. They made that one a bit thick, the metal, so we shall use a little pokey stick to puncture it. Yeah, that one's the metal in the top of that cap's really stiff. So we need to dispense an equal amount. So it's 2-part resin, epoxy resin, so it's resin and then hardener. taking a bit of a guess for how much we're going to need, but I think there's going to be quite a lot of epoxy resin spare, so that's a bit of a bonus. Get a little mixing spatula with it as well and thoroughly mix that up. So you've got about 5 minutes before this stuff hardens, but you really want to make sure it's thoroughly mixed. I might actually want some more. We'll see how we get on here. It might be enough actually. Next up, I'd recommend putting on some gloves. Could be a bit messy. Now we need to apply an even coat to the back of the new clip. And then we can apply the clip to the back of the relay pack, making sure we get it the right way round, of course, and in the correct position. We'll apply a little bit of pressure, getting a little bit oozing out the edges, so we just clean that up. Like I say, we've got about 5 minutes working time by the looks of it. So just enough time to go round and clean that up. Now, although this epoxy will start to go off after about 5 minutes, the instructions say give it an hour at room temperature before refitting it back on the car. So let's do as per the instructions, shall we? But what we can do, while that glue is still a little bit soft, is just remove our masking tape now, and I've done a really neat job of it anyway. It's not going to make a mess. So there we go. We obviously want to leave that and make sure it doesn't move around now. To be honest, that's, even after a few minutes, that's not going to move. I was worried about it sliding down. That's going to be absolutely fine now. Right, so we've got to be patient now. Let's leave that for an hour and we'll come back to it, and it should be stuck on there really nicely. Great thing about YouTube is 1 hour takes a second. There we go. We've given that just over an hour. That has fully gone off now, that epoxy resin, and I'll tell you what, that is stuck very, very well. That is not going to come off of there. So let's clip it back on the car and see if it clips in nicely. Right, so there we go, job done. Didn't take long, about 10 minutes to do it, and then there's obviously the time to allow the glue to dry, but it's a really good, simple repair, doesn't cost a great deal to do. Anyone can do it, and that's a really good positive fixing on there now. It's as good as a new one, I'd say, and it just looks so much neater and tidier than having cable ties around there or just flapping around loose in the wind. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Certainly gets my thumbs up. I think it's a great little repair, that, and I hope it's useful to you.